said, here is our mission. Before I moved out, I pulled in the experienced non-commissioned officers and asked them, is this a good plan? Is this a plan that's got holes in it? Is there something that I've missed? Because all of our rumps were on the line. Fathers, you should do the same. You bring in your wives and you say, is this the right way to do it? And listen. And then make a good decision. God has called fathers to be warriors, protectors of the family. He defends family members from the destructive influences of the outside world, teaches them how to deal with the realities of the world and how to cope with it successfully. When a family member feels anxious or threatened, they should know they can go to him for security and protection. As a warrior, a father defends, but he also prepares his children for spiritual warfare. God, the Father, has revealed his two natures, love and justice. He is just and must punish the sin, but he also loves us and does not want to punish the sinner. Well, clearly the woman was created to reflect God's nature of love. A mother is thought of as pure love. They nurture their children physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. God made women to be mothers, to be loving and caring. A father's love is also caring and just as important, but it is different. A father trains his children for the hardships of life. Another word for training is discipline. It is those tumultuous years when the child is moving into adulthood that they want to exercise their independence. Yet, they still need help in making good decisions. It is in those turbulent years that a father's love is more visible. To confront bad behavior is an act of love. To discipline is an act of love. Indulgence and indifference is not love. Confrontation and discipline often bring conflict if the spirit is rebellious. Discipline is looked upon by most people in our society today in a negative manner, but God thought the opposite. A word of caution. Dads, how you impose discipline is just as important. Do it with firmness, but with love and compassion, just like Christ would do it with you. Let's see what God says about discipline in Hebrews 12:5-11. And have you forgotten the exhortations that addresses you as sons? My son, do not regard lightly the discipline of the Lord, nor be weary when reproved by him. For the Lord disciplines the one he loves, and chastises every son whom he receives. It is for discipline that you have to endure. God is treating you as sons. For what son is there whom his father does not discipline? If you are left without discipline, in which all have participated, then you are illegitimate children and not sons. Besides this, we have had earthly fathers who disciplined us, and we respected them. Shall we not much more be subject to the Father of spirits and live? For they disciplined us for a short time as it seemed best to them. But he disciplines us for our good, that we may share his holiness. For the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. A parent, teacher, coach, dance trainer, drill sergeant, all use discipline to bring the body, the mind, the spirit under control. Discipline governs thoughts and actions. All of us who saw Christina Lay recently and her beautiful recital of dance can see the act of discipline in her life. It's a beautiful example of how discipline brings about good things. Basically, the entire concept of discipline is painful. To most people, it means not doing what they want to do and consequently not having fun. That's false. Discipline is rewarding and fulfilling. An old saying, without work, all life becomes rotten. The hard work part of discipline is what people don't like. In reality, though, we always work hard, even if we're just working hard at relaxing. People eagerly work for something they really want. The fourth role of traditional fathers is to provide spiritual direction at home. This requires a father to lead by example, to train his children's soul and spirit as well as their body and mind. A father should lead his family to worship. A father should teach his children about God. A father should show his children that service to his God and fellow man is a duty that needs to be honored. Unfortunately, because of the muddled view of the role of man and women by postmodernists and their allies in the media, many fathers have a poor concept of what they're supposed to do or how to get it done. Some have surrendered their authority at home and are either altogether uninvolved or they're trying to nurture their children in ways that are more characteristic of mothers. They have been told they need to be more sensitive and to learn to express a full range of emotions. In effect, men are being pressed by society to become more like women, and women are supposed to be more like men. The role reversal is very confusing to both boys and girls. It is not inappropriate for a man to feel things deeply or to reveal his inner passions and thoughts. Nor must he present a frozen exterior to the world around him. But at the same time, there is a definite place in manhood for strength and confidence in the midst of a storm. And that role falls more naturally for men. A strong man provides security and comfort for every member of his family. Perhaps the reason this topic of fatherhood has been so difficult for me to teach and put together, I cannot begin to tell you the hours that I've spent on this, is because I know in my heart of hearts how important a father is and how I have often failed in this most important of responsibilities. I confess to you that I have been a good father at times, and there have been times when I have not been a good father. In closing, I think the words of General Douglas MacArthur, one of the true heroes of our nation, eloquently stated in a speech what every father hopes for. In 1942, after he had been given an award for being a good father, this is what he had to say on that day. Nothing has touched me more deeply than this honor given to me by the National Father's Day Committee. By profession, I am a soldier and take great pride in that fact. But I am prouder, infinitely prouder, to be father. A soldier destroys in order to build. The father only builds and never destroys. The one has the potentialities of death, the other embodies creation and life. And while the hordes of death are mighty, the battalions of life are mightier still. It is my hope that my son, when I am gone, will remember me not from the battle, but in the home. That is precisely the way most fathers feel about their sons and daughters. At this time, I'd like to have all of the fathers come forward, please.